so loud. Oh man, what's up?
Yo,
What's up?
Blackstarkids in the house. I've been
are
looking
in
forward
the
to this episode for a while.
Thank you,
Hell
thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks
I
for
was
having
trying to
us.
figure out how to start this episode. I was like, man, there's so much I could ask them, but I decided, can I tell the story of the first time I heard Blackstarkids?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Okay. So Gabe, you might remember this. You were actually there. You may or may not remember this, but okay. So I got to go back a few steps. So I saw Paris Williams' The Huffy video online. And I was like, man, this is hitting different. This kid, who is this kid? You know? And so I reach out to him. I'm like, hey, welcome to the city. Because in the article, it said that he was new to Kansas City. And so I DM him, I find him on Instagram. I DM him like, hey, man, welcome to the city. Just want to say I'm a big fan. If there's anything you need, if you want to get tapped in with like music people around here, just let me know. And so we kind of became friends through that. And then at the time, we were running a clothing brand called Humble Pleasures, and we were about ready to do a photo shoot. And usually with Humble Pleasures, we try to integrate like people in the scene that we like or admire or whatever. We just have them model for us, you know, which, you know, but I think both of you.
Yeah.
And so we asked Paris, we were like, yo, Paris, you should come through and, you know, model this t-shirt. And he's like, okay, sounds good. Can I bring Gabe? And I had never met you at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And so it's probably 7 or 8 people. Nobody knows each other really well. We do the photo shoot. And our friend Sam, who's the photographer, has a projector in his house. And we were like, let's watch the Huffy video. You know, let's like just share a little bit about each other because nobody really knew each other. And so we watched the Huffy video. And then Paris is like, by the way, Gabe's in a band. And everybody's like, oh, no way. And so we pull up, I think it's a Love Stargirl video.
Yeah, Love Stargirl.
Yeah. And it was the same kind of thing where I was just like, holy shit. When I saw it, I was like, this is your band? Like, and you're from Kansas City? And it was so early on. I think it was like, was it the first video?
Yeah, it was like really early on.
Yeah. And so I never forget it because, and then it was like 2.5 years later, you're at Madison Square Garden opening up for the 1975. It was just like a total mind blow. But yeah, let's just go back. I want to like fill the gaps between, you know, that moment, which I know there's music before that too.
Yeah.
But like, how did Blackstarkids start? How did you get to know each other, and why did you decide to start a band?
Well, we all went basically to the same high school.
Okay.
Because we're from like Kansas City, but there's a suburb outside, like it's basically in Kansas City called Raytown, where it's like we all went to school there. There's 2 high schools there, Raytown High and Raytown South. Me and DeAndre went to both because we both got kicked out of Raytown High. And we ended up going to Raytown South. And
Wait.
Yeah. At
Can
the
we
same
say
time.
why or no?
Not together. We didn't get kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
That would be funny.
Did yours happen a year after? It was because shitty grades.
Grades.
Yeah.
Both
Okay,
of us.
okay.
Bad grades.
And
So it wasn't like-
we're like past the school borderline, like for the district and
Oh,
shit.
okay.
So they're like, you could come to our school, but only if you have good grades.
Yeah.
And shit. They're like,
Gotcha.
otherwise, you're going to sent to the bad school and shit.
You're like,
That's what happened. So we both got sent to Raytown South, and I ended up meeting Gabe. And I found out like basically we both bonded. Like I bonded with both of them separately on the fact that we made music. And this was like 2016, around that point. And so it's not like a lot of people making music. And so we just became friends off of that. But then I started making music with DeAndre first. And we made like a project together, just me and him. And then eventually we kind of had the idea to add Gabe into the mix. And we had been talking about doing that a little bit while we were making the music together for a while. But after we finished the project we were working on, we were like, let's just add Gabe and start a band.
Gotcha.
And we just ended up doing it. We started having the session. Like we started having sessions like weekly, just making songs and stuff like that. And we just didn't stop, and it just kept going.
yeah. Was there any intention to set out to make a specific type of music? Or was it just like, did you just have instruments laying around you picked up and...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had access to like guitars and bass guitars and then like everything else, you know,
Yeah.
like within the software. So there's like options to do like more
Yeah.
than one sound. So, but we also just liked, you know, a bunch of different type of music, and
Yeah.
we're talking about, you know, Toro a lot and then Blood Orange a lot.
The internet was like
So-
a really big influence of like what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because like they do like the neo soul vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Lacy production.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the impetus for adding Gabe? So you two were making music separately, and what was it? Did you want a female vocal, or what was like the...
I slay.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm like, we're two dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I could just put it like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's definitely like a bright mix to the group
Yeah.
stuff, and it's proven
And-
to be a lot.
And me and Gabe have been trying to figure out like how to work together for the few years before that.
Yeah.
Cause me and Gabe had also made music together, but nothing
really?
that super came of it. But I just knew that she was really talented, and that if we all like worked together, we could probably come up with something cool. I think always kind of had like I had the idea of a band in my head for like a while when I was like a kid, and I've always kind of had it and wanted to do it one day, but I just like didn't know the right people.
Yeah.
And so I think when I met the both of them, it just kind of clicked like, oh, these would probably be the right people. Like the combination of us three, we could probably. I mean, I wasn't even thinking much. It's just like we like the same type of music. We're all pretty open minded when it comes to like discovering new music and learning new stuff about music. And so I figured we could all do it together, and it just ended up working out.
And we didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just do this for real.
Yeah. What were you doing, Gabe? You said you were making music with Ty. So Ty was kind of like in the middle. It sounds like of both.
Like when I met Ty, he was definitely kind of like guiding me, like showing me like what I should do with music. We were just kind of like trying to figure out what would be my fit, because we have like so many crazy ideas. But I think it made more sense for me to kind of like grow with these two, because they just bring out like things that I didn't know I could do, and kind of like have that guidance.
Yeah. What is the process? I've always been curious. I've never actually been in a studio environment with you all, because it sounds, when you listen to Blackstarkids, it just sounds perfect. Like the three of you, the three of you mixing together is like the perfect. It hits the perfect way each time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But I'm always like, does it start with a hook? Is it like DeAndre produces something, or Ty has a hook, or maybe Gabe has something? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
It's pretty much like a mixture of that. Like we'll have an idea and we'll talk. A lot of it comes from talking. I feel like that's where a lot of it stems from, is like just talking, listening to music individually is a big part of it, and then kind of coming together and being like, what have you been listening to, and just like gathering information. Because so much of my taste is like, my taste is my taste and like the stuff that I like, but it's also blended with like stuff that they show me, because I'm trying to get like a good mix of like what everybody likes in my head and start to like come up with ideas. So it starts with like us all like talking about what we will want to do or want to try. Then from there, like he plays all the instruments like and stuff like that. So like he'll be putting the music together, and then we'll all like collaborate on in terms of like writing the song.
Yeah.
Just everybody kind of does everything within the music. Like everybody's pitching in to each role, if that makes sense. But it's like the writing and the production kind of go hand in hand. We do it at the same time, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels very balanced when you listen to it. It doesn't feel too heavy-handed with like one. Sometimes when you hear a band, you're like, "Oh, this is so and so's project," and everybody else is kind of just like slotting in.
Right.
It feels like every one of you really brings your own flavor to the ingredients.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to talk about the visual piece. I was talking with my friend Justin, and he was like, he called you masters of aesthetic.
Oh wow.
He was like, they're masters of aesthetic. Like, and I would have to agree. It's like, sometimes, and this is a lot of what we work on with BoomBox, is trying to make sure that musicians understand the importance and the avenues for like creating a visual world around your music. But it's one of those things where if it's not authentic, it can just miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way that you present visually and the way you sound is like exactly the same.
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
yeah. And I know Daniel, we should talk about Daniel and the honorary Blackstarkids on the periphery, like Jake and all those people who kind of craft your visual voice. But where are your heads at visually, and how do you just nail the nail on the head each time in terms of getting it to look how it sounds?
I feel like we're like really good at like, if we have like a world we're creating, we're like really trying to build it. Like we're not just gonna half-ass it. We're like, what should the colors be of the album? What do we need to be wearing? Like, how is it gonna sound? How is it gonna make you feel? Like, we really deep dive into like every project we make.
Yeah. And you can feel that too, especially with the sequencing on the album, even with like the little interludes and stuff that you do. It feels very cohesive.
Thank you.
What do you think, Ty? I know you're all about the visuals.
I feel like it kind of splits, and that's why I think the visuals work, because we kind of take care of different avenues. Like in terms of like the way that it looks and like having like the reference points, a lot of the times like Gabe is really good at that. And then in terms of like the actual like visuals and merchandise that you'll see, like me and Daniel kind of come up with a lot of that together. And then on the video side of things, that's Jerry and DeAndre. They come up with all the videos. So it's like we just kind of split different responsibilities. Yeah. But we all kind of stay in the same conversation with each other to achieve like the same goal. It's like, okay, they're doing the videos, we're doing the art and the merch, and then like we're trying to come up with the perfect reference points so that they all match up together and go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you do an awesome job of that the record. Yeah, it's so vibrant, it's so colorful. It's kind of loud, you know, in a way, but not obnoxiously so, more just like playfully, you know? There's also a lot of references to like cartoons and stuff even, you know, like Jimmy Neutron. I'm trying to think of other ones. But is there a conscious effort to maintain that kind of childlike play almost away in your music?
I think with just how the songs feel, like, you know, like we're taking it seriously and stuff, and then always like striving to mature our sound. Yeah. Like more and just like make it more complex and stuff. But like we still want to make it sound like, you know, it was just an idea. We had it, we tried it, you know? Yeah. Like nothing too like structural and stuff. Because like we still need to have fun while we do anything. And that always helps with stuff, so.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not like being maybe childlike comes with its own connotations or whatever, because it doesn't sound immature or anything. Yeah. It just sounds like how everybody probably kind of wishes they acted and sounded, which is that they don't really care. Like it really feels like you guys don't care, but you also care the most.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think it's for us trying to catch this feeling that we had when we were younger, just because I feel that's when you're your most imaginative and like you're most comfortable with yourself, because you haven't figured so much out yet, so it's easier just to be comfortable. And I feel like that's the stuff that we reference back to is just the stuff that was going on when we felt that way, and that's the feeling that the music tries to capture. So it's definitely coming from a real place, but also it's something that like you don't try to do consciously, because the more that you start trying to create a feeling like consciously, I feel like people can start to tell, and it starts becoming more of like a formula and a job versus just creating from a place of this is where we are right now. I think that's something that, you know, we're starting to really like embrace now, is the fact that we aren't really in the same place that we were when we made those first couple of projects. But that was a really good era of our friendship and our band, and we would obviously it's what made it happen. It's the start of it. So we look upon it like we look back on it positively. But now at this place is something new. Like this is what we're doing now. I think starting with Cyberkiss, that was like the start of like, okay, this is what we're into now. This is what we sound like now. Just so when it's all said and done, we'll be able to look back and see the complete progression of us as people, as artists, whatever. Which I think if we were trying to keep it up and keeping it consciously being like, it has to be like this, because this is what we did before, you kind of rob yourself of the full experience. Yeah. You know, seeing the progression in the music.
Oh yeah, I totally know what you mean. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thank you.
I do want to talk about, because you said we're not in the same place, and I do want to talk about just the kind of crazy trajectory that your band took. I mean, if I'm being real, like you all have gotten to experience and participate in a lot of things that a lot of musicians really want to and probably never will, if we're being real. You know, talking about playing Madison Square Garden or being signed to like a big label. When did it start to sink in, like, oh shit, this is working and starting to work in a big way?
The first show.
Yeah, definitely. And then the second one after that.
You mean the first live show, like, ever?
Yeah. It was at this place called, was it Revolution?
Yeah, Revolution.
It was a Revolution Records. And it doesn't seem like a huge thing, but to us getting the show there, it was a task. Like we had to really kind of go out of our way to get a show there. So we do the show, and a lot of people come. It's our first show ever, and we had just put out Surf maybe like a week before, literally
Yeah,
a week
before.
And I think there was like 70 people there or something. And it's like a small record store, so it felt packed.
Yeah.
And then we do our set, and just the energy that surrounded us when we did the set, that was kind of the feeling of like, okay, this could be something.
Yeah.
And then we did a show again the next week. It was like a basement show, and bigger crowd, same results, like the same energy. And that's when we started kind of having conversations amongst each other, like this might actually work, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say that was like the point. And then right after that happened, COVID hit. Like it was like the next day after the second show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I'm glad you mentioned COVID because I was looking back at the timeline on the albums and I was like, man, their come up was like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Definitely. Gabe, what was that like? Just blowing up during a pandemic?
Honestly, it was like amazing because during that time we weren't able to do shows. So we're just like, bro, we're sitting on like all this music. We can't really perform it. So to get signed, it's like, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, this super crazy. How did the signing happen? How did the conversation start with Dirty Hit, and like what did that look like?
I was sending emails, and I started off sending emails to labels around here, trying to like maybe see if somebody wanted to just put up a little bit of money for the, I think we were working on Whatever Man. Or we were trying to get it for Surf, even though Surf had already came out. We were trying to see if somebody wanted to put up a little bit of money for like some t-shirts, maybe some cassettes, just something to keep the album afloat.
Right.
But nobody was really getting back because the Kansas City scene, even though it was a couple years ago, it was a lot different.
Yeah.
Even just a couple years ago. So there was nobody really like getting back to us about that. So I just started hitting up like bigger labels, and I emailed Dirty Hit. That was one of the labels that I emailed. And I'd already emailed them once, but I emailed them again. And then they ended up hitting back.
You're like, hey, we had 70 people out last night. Look at the pictures from this show.
I think when they emailed us back, we had like 1,000 monthly listeners.
Okay.
And yeah, they ended up emailing me back, and I'm like, okay. They said they listened, they liked it. Let's set up a call. So I'm like, I'm not thinking much. I mean, I'm excited, but I don't want to get too excited.
Yeah.
I ended up getting on the phone with one of the guys who works at the label. We just chop it up for like 30 minutes. And it's like a normal conversation. He just kind of asked about like our influences and like what are our plans for the future? What are we looking for? Blah, 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 blah. Then I, still not thinking much, still thinking, okay, maybe we'll just keep talking or we can keep in contact. But Jamie, the owner of the label, I think maybe 20 minutes after that phone call was like, he messaged us on Instagram and was like, I want to sign you guys. And that's how we ended up getting signed, just sending that email and then them getting back to us.
Oh my God, were your hearts just in your butts?
Yeah.
What was your...
It was a blur. I barely remember it
personally. It was early in the morning. I like woke up to that and shit. It was so it definitely was a blur.
I was like, when can I quit my job in my head?
Yeah.
You're like, so you just become like their headache immediately. You're like, so have you already wired us money, or how does this work? Yeah, no, I want to talk about the tour though, because that had to have been a dream come true. Were you 1975 fans? For anybody who's not familiar, you were asked to open for 1975 on their North American tour, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So first off, like, whoa, like that had to have been nuts. But were you listening to the 1975? Like,
yeah, I was hardcore listening.
Really?
To them. Yeah, like during their second album phase for sure. But like, I think a lot of people were familiar with them through their first album because you see it like in Urban Outfitters everywhere, rectangle and stuff. So
pretty sure I saw Whatever Man at Urban Outfitters. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be crazy.
You've like, because it's like a full circle,
right? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but so you go from being a Kansas City, I guess Kansas City bands playing Revolution Records to getting signed all of a sudden, going on this huge tour. What were some of the other, we'll just call them like holy shit moments along the way, where you were just like, man, we just keep leveling up in a way that's surprising?
Right before our show, it was at Riot Fest. Brother Range commented on one of our photos and was like, good luck. I don't know. Yeah. We like mentioned him in like one of our posts as like a joke, but then he just commented under it as like, good luck at your show today. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was crazy because Blood Orange was like one of the biggest influences on Blackstarkids starting, if not the biggest. Like,
definitely.
Blood Orange, Toro, like those two were like huge influences on us even wanting to start the band. So Yeah, like him leaving that comment on the picture was crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet that was crazy. I love Dev Hines. He's amazing.
Yeah.
What wasn't there like a Doja Cat? Like, did she like post your song on her story? or
Rico
something?
Nasty.
Oh, it was
did.
Rico Nasty.
Yeah, she
Okay.
was on live, and I was just on like the Blackstarkids live because I knew she followed us. So I was like, let me go in here and see if she'll say something. And then I commented a heart, and she was like, wait, I know you guys. I love you guys. And then she started playing Britney, bitch, and I was like, oh my fucking gosh. And like
Yeah.
she knew the lyrics. So
Yeah,
like,
that was
Really?
crazy.
yeah, I
she
was like,
started singing.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about Britney Bitch. I want to go back to the tour, but I did want to ask about this song because it seems like all of you really appreciate a good old fashioned icon.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I'm like, what makes an icon? Because it's not just fame. There's a lot of famous people who probably aren't like legendary in your opinion.
Right.
But so what is it? What does it look like to be an icon? What does that even mean to you?
I mean, if you're being talked about like for as long as like, people like Pharrell, like that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy because like he's been doing this for such a long time.
Yeah.
It
know,
doesn't. It's
can
not fair if you're an alien though.
Yeah.
Yeah. if you like, change the way that like people think about whatever the field that you're in.
Mhm.
If you change the way that people think about it, like I think that makes you an icon. Even if you're not the biggest artist in the world. If like, for example, I don't think Chief Keef is like the biggest artist of all time or anything, but he came out, people started talking different, dressing
Yeah.
different,
Mm.
like influence, the impact. I think that's really what makes you an icon. Even though there are artists who had bigger peaks than like him. I'm just using him as,
Yeah,
as
no,
an
it's a
example.
great
Yeah, he is
example.
You could say
icon.
the same thing with like Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't the biggest artist ever, but it's like people look, dress, talk differently because of him. A$AP Rocky, like these are people who like in rap growing up, I saw them come out and they changed the way. It wasn't just their music. And obviously you could be iconic too just because like your music is so prevalent and so good. Like Drake, he didn't really have to do any of that because he was just constantly making hits.
Right.
Kendrick didn't really have to do any of that because he was making top tier albums and stuff like that, classic albums. And so they kind of had that their own way of doing it. But then people like Tyler, Rocky, Keith, they were more influential in terms of the way that people looked and talked and fan base, stuff like that.
So like just a cultural shift in general.
Yeah.
For
You can just
sure.
like see them and feel them,
Mm-hmm.
and not just in the way that they act, but people around them as well.
Right.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. It reminded me of a question from. We can just jump into some fan questions, I guess, because one of them is kind of relevant. And I'm going to start with you, DeAndre. These are questions from the fans on Instagram. But so we're talking about iconic, just things in general. The question was, because you just posted on Instagram recently, how do you know when a fit is Instagram worthy?
Me personally,
I saw you in like a kimono or something recently.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like, what?
you know, if I even bother wanting to post it, in my head, that's like obviously, green light for me and stuff. But like, if it just looks fucking weird, I'm just like, I'm gonna go for it and stuff.
Why do you wear the tie? I've always wondered that. The tie and like the white shirt and tie, like the Oxford.
Like, I think it just started at the BBDB tour
Okay.
and stuff. I was keeping that for like just special occasion nights, like the first New York night.
You're dressing up.
Yeah, I was just like white shirt and stuff. But really, I was just trying to be on like Michael Jackson vibe.
Okay,
Shit with
okay.
the black pants and all that
All
shit,
right, all right.
dancing and all that. But it quickly became like a uniform and stuff,
Yeah.
especially by 75.
Yeah.
So everyone's like in ties.
True.
and shit, so.
It looks
Yeah.
good on you, man. Looks
Thank
good.
you.
Let's go round robin on that one because you all have cool personal style.
Thank you. I would. Oh, you can go.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were, okay.
No, yeah, you're right.
So it's for me it's more so like less about the outfit and more about the location, or like if I'm doing something that's like, okay, I want to take a picture of this. So sometimes if I'm like with my friends, it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing. It's more so about like the memory.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's like just a fit pick or something like that, how it feels. Like if it feels good. If I'm like, okay, I want to,
Yeah.
Honestly, same. Like if I feel good, feeling like a bad bitch, I'm like, let me post this photo in this fit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gabe, let's just stick with you then for a sec because you have your own clothing brand, kind of, right?
Yeah,
Let's
baby
talk about
cakes.
baby cakes. Why did you start baby cakes?
Well, I used to a long time ago. I wanted to open up a bakery and call it Baby Cakes, but that never happened. It could happen,
Yeah,
but
that's smart.
the name just stuck with me. I thought it was cute, and I've always wanted to make clothes. Like a lot of artists that I like have clothes. Like Tyler, he does his stuff, and it's just like really inspiring. And I love to dress up, so
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a clothing line.
Yeah, I love Baby Cakes.
Thank you.
It's so you. It's such your personality.
Thank you.
And you just did a Barbie pop-up?
Yeah, I did like a Barbie theme drop. I went to the thrift store and I did not think this would happen, but I found like some vintage Barbie fabric and I was like, what are the coincidences that I would come in here and find this? Like, and the movie's about to come out, so like I need to do something with this. So.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie yet?
Yes, 10
Is
out
it
of
good?
10.
Is it good?
Love it,
I haven't seen it
yeah.
yet. We were gonna go last night, but
It's so good.
yeah, we had salty iguana instead.
Oh, that's good
sitting a little
too.
heavy. And then how do you manage your personal projects? Because you're all such prolific creators. Gabe, you all do BSK. You've got the clothes. DeAndre, I know you just dropped an album, which I want to talk about. Or what do you want to call it? A mixtape? I'm not sure.
Mixtape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to it before you're heading over. I really love the production on Lemon Lime. It's
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you.
But you've all got a lot going on. How do you manage that when BSK is like this, big thing with a big label and big tours, but you still have other creative outlets that you want to pursue?
I feel like I'm always just kind of like thinking of ideas like constantly. Like when we're working on stuff, like something might just pop up for something else. It's probably like the same for you guys. So I just keep it down in my notes and I'm like, I'll save this for when it's the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about our plans a lot, and like we try and keep to the schedule.
Yeah.
So as long as you do that, like you have time for other things.
Yeah.
Stuff, so.
Do you ever feel pressure? Because DeAndre, you produce most of the tracks. I know there's a lot of input from everybody, but you do a lot of the production, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel pressure when you're in the studio cooking up and you're like, whoa, I'm onto something? Do you feel pressure to make it a Blackstarkids track because it's the bigger project? Or does that ever cross your mind?
Nah, it never crosses my mind for real. Cause like the idea's already there and stuff. Then like we're just counting on it to like fall in place naturally. You know what I mean? So, and like as soon as the track's done, I know what it sounds like, so I know how to avoid,
Yeah.
sound the same and stuff. So
I was nervous what you're going to say. After I asked it, I was just like, oh, God. I'm going to break up the band on the BoomBox pod.
I've been thinking.
Yeah. You're like, actually, I'm sitting on 12 tracks with Chief Keef.
Yeah.
Right now.
Did not want to tell y'all.
Oh, man, that's funny. Ty, do you have anything that you're pursuing right now individually?
Nothing soon that I could talk about.
Oh.
Because I don't like being like, oh yeah, this is. If it's like if I know when it's happening, then I'll talk about it more.
I respect
I'm
that.
still figuring it out.
God, I respect that so much. There's so many times when there's so much hype around something that never happens, and you're just like, it's just gone.
Yeah, I'm like too like indecisive to like announce stuff super in advance.
Yeah,
Right.
That's why you need these two. Keep you in line. Okay, more questions from the fans. All right, I'm really looking forward to this one. Craziest tour story, and you can. I guess there is like when we upload these podcasts, we can do like an explicit button if something's really crazy that's said. So you can say whatever you need to say.
I'm really trying to think because I feel like we have like a few.
Well, okay, I'll just start it off. This one's kind of simple. So like it was literally the first day of tour. We're driving towards Atlanta. We're on the highway and we literally see a car just cross the highway and then literally hit a ditch and then fly.
Yeah.
And just like fly. And then like we pull over and then like we're like, are you all right? And stuff. And then these two people dead ass look like they're taking a nap.
Like, taking a nap? Were they unconscious?
I think they fell asleep at the wheel or something.
Oh, wow. Were they like older or something?
Yeah, but they're fine. They're perfectly fine and stuff. But I was like, what the hell? But we still got to make it to our show.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like our first show.
Yeah, not what I expected. Wow.
I think our first ever, and none of these stories are going to be like, oh yeah, there were these groupies or blah blah blah. It's like one was like we did a show of our own. What was that?
Oh, wait.
No, it was like
Here?
No, it was in the middle
Brian?
of tour.
Oh
When
my
Brian,
god!
like, got the money.
Yeah, that was Cincinnati, Ohio.
So
not naming the venue. They don't need a plug.
No, they don't actually.
we did a show in Cincinnati, and I remember like seeing that on the schedule and being like, I don't know, I don't feel like we have like a big Cincinnati fan base.
Yeah.
And it's not really being promoted or anything like that. So we come, there's like 6 people there, but it's like at a bar. So it's like they're not there for the show, they're just like at the bar and we're just like supposed to perform. And when it's time for us to like do our set, I'm like, I don't want to do some of these songs because it's like they're so loud and the venue felt like very intimate. So I don't want to be in there like just screaming. So we kind of cut a couple songs from our set and we did just like 20 minutes. And his family came out the blue because they wanted to see a show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They just wanted to surprise me, and I was like, you came on the worst night of our lives.
The 6 people at the bar, they turn around, they're your family.
Oh, that would be great.
Right. There actually ended up being like 2 people that followed us from the previous night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah, and I felt bad for them too because there was like one guy who was like, yeah, I'm like a fan. And I appreciate him, but he was like, I'm like a fan and I wanted to see you guys live. And I'm like, damn, I wish this wasn't the first time.
Yeah, you got
you're,
to
like,
see
seeing
us.
this
Yeah, but also kind of like the coolest first time. It's kind of like seeing your YouTube video before like the album that you got signed. I kind of, it's like my claim to fame.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, I saw Blackstarkids when there were 5 people in Cincinnati.
Man, that was a crazy night. There is so much going on. Like the sound guy, he's just being a smart ass the whole time, just not trying to deal with us and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the stage was already like half the size of this rug right here.
Yeah.
It was like we were all just like standing still, like trying not to fall off the stage while we
Yeah.
performed
Yeah.
and shit. And
Which
then-
your performance, like
and that's why we just had to cut our set in half.
Yeah.
And do like the chiller songs and stuff. But dude like walks out in the middle of us playing, like just taking a smoke break and stuff, and then there's like stuff that needs to be happening, and then like our tour manager Brian just hops on the soundboard, just starts mixing us and doing the old dude's job and stuff. I'm
Man.
like, what is going on and stuff? And
clutch though. You're lucky to have him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a
Shout
blessing
out Brian.
since day
Shout out
one.
Brian.
Yeah, he seems cool. I've never met him, but I do follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Gabe, any crazy tour stories you can think of?
I can think it's not crazy, but it could have got crazy. Do you remember we were in Portland and you jumped on that speaker and that it almost slid off?
Yeah,
That was crazy. I thought you were about to go down.
that almost happened a couple times, and there's always like a group of girls right in front.
Always.
Yeah, just trying to not laugh and shit. Just like, keep going.
Yeah, your guys' your live show is nuts. I saw you the last time I saw you would have been probably at Record Bar, and that was for the Cyberkiss album release, I think.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
That
like
was
show.
fun.
Yeah.
That
Thank
was
you.
fun. Paris killed it too. I'm trying to remember
Yes.
who else played, but was it
Rue.
just
Was Rue.
Rue? Yeah, all 3 performances were awesome.
That's a nice.
But yeah, tell me about your stage presence because it is like explosive. Like, what are you like doing push-ups before it or something, or like what's your taking pre-workout or what?
Maybe a shot.
Yeah,
One
you
shot
know,
before sometimes.
We've been really used to having 2 bottles of whatever
Okay.
in the green room and stuff. But honestly, though, like we don't try and drink that much. 'Cause
Yeah.
someone's gonna throw up.
Yeah.
Start aching and
not
stuff.
before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The show is not really. It's honestly not that planned or rehearsed.
That's why it's so good too.
Mm.
Yeah.
We don't overthink it. We're just
just-
like,
yeah.
let's just go.
Adrenaline rush on the
Yeah.
stage type thing.
It feels a little unhinged in the best way.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And also, drinking on stage is overrated. I remember one time I was in a band like a long time ago, and somebody came up to us after the set, and they're like, "You guys are really good, really good." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And they're like, "You should try maybe drinking less though, like during the set." And that like really stuck with me, you know.
Really?
And we actually, as a band, we decided like, yeah, let's only have like a few Miller Lights before this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that hard on tour to maintain like a healthy lifestyle when you're constantly like,
Yeah.
It is.
Especially when you like eat fast food like every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some days you'll be praying for a salad, honestly.
Yeah.
It starts to look appetizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much all the on the road travel
Mhm.
like really makes it hard to like be healthy and stuff. Feel kind of gross
Yeah.
and stuff. And
you're like, I need an actual pillow,
right,
Yeah.
no, for real.
and I'm not hungry for trail mix anymore.
No.
Right, no more roller grills.
Yeah. No more roller.
Like
coasters.
honestly, I started craving those like hamburger roller grills.
Oh yeah.
Just because they had cheese in the middle. I'm like, I'm disgusting. Why am I liking this right now?
Oh man, are you QT hot dog people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. What's
are
your
good.
QT order? When you walk into QT, what are you getting, Gabe?
Hot dog, maybe like strawberry Fanta, some chips, and then some kind of candy, like Starburst.
Okay.
Not healthy at all.
I respect it. I respect it. Just immediate gastrointestinal issues.
Oh wait, the slushy. I have to get a slushy.
Oh,
actually.
true. All right, Ty, QT.
Personal pizza, a slushie, donut holes, a candy, some chips, and some Tic Tacs.
And some Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Because you know at the end you're going to need them.
It's just, no, Tic Tacs is like one of my, I don't know why I'm like addicted to Tic Tacs. Like I get like the 200 thing of Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
And I'll eat that in like one go.
It's kind of a move.
Yeah, it's
too,
good.
having
It's
them.
good.
Like nobody really has them and like they clack around.
Yeah.
It gives off like a rich vibe a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, when I was like a kid, I used to pretend that they were pills.
I did that. I did that.
Listening to too much Eminem as a kid.
Dude, all buffalo chicken roller grills, maybe the
Okay.
occasional egg roll,
Okay.
and then twisted tea.
Twisted tea. What is a twisted tea?
It's one of those alcoholic sweet teas.
Oh,
Stuff they
okay.
have, like,
Okay.
the half-
Twisted.
They're really good.
Yeah, they got real popular after that one video, that guy like smacking the other dude with the can.
Oh,
At
yeah.
the gas station. Yeah, it ended up being a twisted tea can and shit.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm buying that. Like,
Oh man, I usually go 2 hot dogs. One of the hot dogs is traditional with just like ketchup and mustard, and then the other one I do like banana peppers and pico and just like onions, that whole thing.
got good toppings. They like added more taco toppings.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Condiments. Yeah.
Soon it's just gonna be like Taco Bell. They're just gonna be
Yeah, right.
riffing on like the craziest combos. Let's chat about music. So Cyberkiss is out everywhere. Everybody should be listening to it. What's next for BSK though?
Something.
Or is it not? It's also okay if we can't talk about it.
I think we're still like figuring out
Okay.
what the next step is. I would say we have a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen next. I don't know like how much you.
Yeah, it's okay.
We're definitely working on like new music.
Okay,
So
okay.
there is like a project
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Okay,
Next
sure.
year. Next
Yeah.
year.
Okay. And are you able to elaborate at all on the actual sound? Because it's been, from Let's Play Sports to Surf to, was it Whatever Man?
Yes.
To Cyberkiss. It's been kind of all over the board as far as genre and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you feeling inspiration in any one direction versus another as far as genre?
There's gonna be like drums, vocals, melodies. It's good. It's crazy. It's like a crazy mix. It's like we're mixing it all together: drums, melodies, vocals. There's some bass in there, some synthesizers, all kinds of stuff.
I'll move on. It sounds like you're making music. Very cool. Well, so let's talk about what do you guys want to talk about? I'm the host, but is there anything you want to talk about?
Right. Oh fuck! That wasn't enough time to think about what to talk about.
If you have any more questions,
Yeah,
questions are fun.
I shouldn't be. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. When you create music, do you come from a place of jamming and freestyling, or do you have a direction before?
Definitely direction.
Yeah.
Most times.
Yeah, most times.
95% of the time, there's like a direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're kind of all over the place. So if we are just jamming and stuff, we're probably not going to end up making anything because we're probably going to get distracted.
Yeah.
I think the extent of our jamming, like individually, is like listening to music, me just making a beat, like producing, just doing whatever throughout the day, and then him writing and like writing other music and stuff he's working on the side. And,
Okay.
same for her too.
Yeah. Are you producing in Logic or what DAW are you using?
Yeah. I'm using strictly Logic right now.
Oh, really?
But, I'm gonna learn Ableton though.
Yeah.
Seems like the standard.
Yeah. I don't really like Ableton very much. I use Logic as well. I don't know. For whatever reason, I guess it's probably because I use GarageBand.
Yeah.
It's like a natural progression from
Right.
GarageBand. But are you a sample guy or are you like building a lot of the instrumentation from the ground up?
Honestly, like just now became like sample heavy
Really?
in our stuff, but like honestly, like since day one, like I've been pretty hardcore about like just making my own samples.
Yeah.
And then just, the sound just recorded
Right.
from the ground up and stuff.
Yeah. And
It's
what all
really
instruments do you play?
Anyone you give him.
Yeah.
He can play it. That's just the
Literally.
truth. Yeah.
And the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of making music together?
I think just doing it with them, because it's just, you get that natural reassurance that like this is a good thing, or like you're making something really amazing. Because like sometimes when you do stuff alone, you get in your head a lot, but like to have like other people like telling you no, we're good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Also, like the feeling of, you don't get it after making every song. Like sometimes you'll be like making songs trying to see like where it's going or what this could be, and it could be even a song that you like, but it's still so early in the process. You're like, okay, what's next? Trying to figure it out. But like that song that you're like, oh man, yeah, like this feels really good, and you're like playing it over and over. That is, there's not really any feeling that's like comparable that I've found yet to that feeling of like just making a song that you feel really, really good about. And so I think my favorite part of music is just like the constant chase of that feeling. And then it's even better when like you didn't just do it by yourself, like you did it with your friends, so you guys can all kind of share that feeling together.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those points. DeAndre, did you want to add something to that as far as your favorite parts?
Oh yeah, I mean honestly, like what they said, but just seeing the end product and then seeing how like each piece was put in and stuff, and everyone was on top of their game and stuff.
Yeah, no, I love what you said, because it's true when you're in a band. Gabe, you were saying that there's that reassurance of being in a group. And also, you're talking about successes. Like when you hear the song back, you're like, this is, you're really hyped or whatever. You get to celebrate that together. But there's also an element of like if you fail together, or when you take the stage at Cincinnati in front of 5 people, or whatever the downfalls are also easier with a group of people. What are some of the challenges along the way? Because from an outsider's perspective, it kind of just feels like dub after dub for Blackstarkids.
Thank you.
Like, what are the challenges for you guys?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, not like with each other, but like that we have to deal with together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it easier though, because we don't have really a lot of internal we don't really have any internal conflict, but it's just
we be beefing all the time.
But it's good, because it's like that does make it easier to deal with just, life itself. Like life, there's always something going on, or like something that you got to figure out. And then when you're creating in a group of people, because it's not just the 3 of us, there's like a whole team of all of our friends who play a role and make this thing happen and help it move or whatever. And it's like, okay, if there's like 7 or 8 people in the group, nothing might be going on in your life. Like you might just be chilling, but your friend is like having a crisis. And so it's, and so that the whole collective can kind of feel that. So there's always like, something to deal with just in our personal lives. And then, the making music, I'm trying to think of how to word it. There's just stuff that you have to deal with, like hurdles that you have to cross and get through. Just, I don't know. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I'm not really complaining about it, because I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. But there's still just stuff that you have to figure out and maneuver.
Yeah, it's not easy to finish music, and to feel proud about each song.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But it's like, and then once you do that, there's still work that you gotta do, like get it, like get it done how you want it, and then get it out, get people to kind of like see the vision of what you're doing, or not that it makes sense, but I'm not that it matters, but just like the people who are directly involved, or you need their push or whatever, like to see the vision of what you want to do.
Yeah, DeAndre, what do you think? Because you seem like a pretty free-flowing, creative energy type guy who probably doesn't hit creative blocks very often, or at least that's how it seems to me. Are there times where you feel like you're struggling as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think most of the struggle happens outside of a project and stuff, like when I'm trying to like learn something, or like mature past a point and stuff. Because like I think like the main push like for anybody is to like progress past the last thing you just put out. So
yeah,
sometimes that takes time, and then like there's like producer's block and stuff. You're like, damn, everything sounds the same.
Yeah,
just something like that, and then but you always end up finding like that golden moment and stuff. So, but when it comes like to a project though, like we're usually pretty good about just like moving on to the next idea.
Yeah,
having the next one like prepared.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like it's not the end of the world type deal.
Yeah.
True.
So.
Yeah, I'm very motivated by progress too. I feel like it's something you got to see. How do you know when you've progressed? Like, what is the sign of that?
Honestly, like when you could be like what you just made, like sits right up there or better than like your references. And stuff. I feel like so.
Yeah. What do you think, Gabe? How do you know you've leveled up a little bit?
Just like going back and listening to like old stuff we made. I do that a lot, especially like when we're making new stuff, because I just want to see like, does this sound like you progressed in any way? And it does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it sounds like you guys are growing a lot with each album.
Thank you.
Especially on Cyberkiss. Some of those songs are like, top notch for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Performing live helped us a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like energy and chemistry.
Yeah.
Stuff, especially on the record, because like I think no one was like telling us to our face except our manager Jamie.
Yeah.
Like like you guys are amazing live, right? And all that. Like the energy's up there, but you guys sound like that on the record.
Yeah.
And like keep that same energy and stuff, And he's right, honestly,
You're like, but I want to do ballads too. But yeah, no, it's there's sometimes there's some pressure because there's so much feedback from a crowd.
For sure.
Like when you play live, you really see what people vibe with and what they don't.
For sure.
And so then there's probably a little bit of pressure to just pander to what everybody's going crazy for, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that in the studio, or do you just stick to your guns and just create what you want to create?
I feel like we're good at just sticking to like what we want to create. I think that's why we enjoy this band and making music in general, because we don't really let that influence what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would be natural for like you to, like let people, if you have a bunch of people saying that they like something, of course it makes sense. You're like, okay, you like this, well, let me just keep doing that. But I'm like, I don't think that's always the solution. I think sometimes people don't know what else they like. And you don't know what else they like either. So why try to get in the way of figuring that out? Yeah, they might not like everything, but I feel like that's like I would rather us do something that we want to do and try to do something that we want to do, and then it comes out and then people don't react to it, than us try to make something on purpose that people like and then they don't react to it. Because it's like, not only did we not make what we wanted to make, we made something that they wanted to hear, and it didn't even work. Like that would be a worse feeling.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Who are some of the who are you listening to these days? Like, I saw a TikTok recently with AG Club. And I know you all are friends with them.
Yeah.
And they shouted out Blackstarkids and Paris Williams in the video.
Oh yeah.
As just like what they're listening to. Who do you guys listen to on a regular basis?
Like that's like new or just like all time?
Maybe a little of both.
I've been listening to like a lot of D-Light lately.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been just really inspired by them. Lady Miss Cure, she's amazing. I love her so much. Who else? Drake. I actually have been listening to a lot of Drake. It's because I saw that interview, and now I'm just like, that's all. The one he did with Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one yet, but it seems like Drake has sort of moved past maybe it hasn't. I guess I don't really know. It seems like for a while it was controversial whether or not you like Drake.
Yeah.
And now I feel like pretty much everybody likes him. Or at least that's kind of how I feel. Do you
Everyone
guys Drake
should
fans?
like
Yeah,
Drake.
definitely.
Drake fan?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
What about during the ghostwriting era, like when it kind of came to light that
I think Drake can definitely write on an elite level, even if he's had help. I feel like a lot of rappers probably have done that before.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't do that personally. I write everything, but I feel like a lot of rappers have probably done that. I don't think that really takes that much away. Obviously, it's a good tactic in a beef, and like that's something that probably will come up in like a peer, like a hip hop purist conversation of like top 5 lyricists, like maybe that matters in like that conversation. But when it comes to just like his overall like influence, talent, ability as an artist, I don't really think it matters or takes away from what he did, just because it's so obvious that, you know, there's a bunch of rappers who have all of the access to the same or better writers that Drake could get, and that they still wouldn't be Drake. Like, there's obviously more to it.
Definitely. I agree. And I also feel like I didn't really think much of it when I heard it, because anybody who's been in a band or been in a room of 10 people making music, you just know that sometimes that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Somebody like says something or hums something and it's like, ooh, that was nice. And then you kind of riff on it. And all of a sudden you're all building something together. And it's like, who really started it? Who knows at a certain point, you know? Yeah. But what are you listening to, Ty?
Man, lots of stuff. Just like my favorites though, like Toro, Tribe, Dilla, Doom, Tyler. I always listen to Tyler. Blood Orange. The same basic stuff. Daft Punk. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
How about you, D?
Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Radiohead.
Cool.
Like, I think The Bends is still like one of my favorites, like up there and stuff, but it's like in between that and Rainbows. Kid A.
Yeah. That's another one of those bands that's so controversial. It's like people either love or hate Radiohead.
Yeah.
I personally love them. I definitely get it though, why people might be turned off by it.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a little like left field stuff, but
they just came through town, didn't they, with their new project?
Oh yeah, The Smile.
Yeah. Have you heard I haven't heard that project.
I haven't listened to much of them, but like I'm going to though.
Yeah. Who's your dream collab? I want to hear everybody's dream collab.
For like or like just in general, or for the band?
Either one.
Okay.
Either one.
It'd be really cool to work with Dev Hines. Yeah. That would be amazing because he's just a genius.
This pod gets to Dev Hines. Yeah. We gotta get this out to him somehow. But yeah, that would be amazing.
I would love to like do a song with Khalees one day. That would be really cool, just because I really look up to her and she's amazing.
Yeah,
that would be sick. Yeah, there's a Khalees lyric, and I was listening to Blackstarkids recently, and there's a Milkshake lyric, right?
Yeah.
Is there? I'm
there
trying to think.
There definitely is.
Bossy.
Oh yeah.
It was in Sex Appeal. I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the lyric, but you definitely mentioned Khalees.
Yeah, I did. No, I definitely. I'm just trying to remember how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like my brain is fried.
Yeah. Also, we don't really perform that one, so I'm like.
Yeah. It's also like 4 p.m. on a Sunday for everybody who sees this. So I should have. Also,
Tyler it would be cool to work with Tyler. Yeah. Just because I've been listening to him forever.
Yeah.
And
What about you, Tyler?
Dev Hines, Toro, and Moi, A$AP Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much those. I think Sun with The Weeknd would be cool.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, he's like really into the whole old sound and stuff. He's pulling it off so good though.
Yeah, I've been a huge Weeknd fan for so long.
Yeah,
like those early records were game changers.
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to alternative R&B, whatever you want to call it, just music in general. Man, those melodies, his voice, that production.
Yeah.
And then also to see him progress, you could say, into the pop star that he became, and to do it with integrity. Those songs are still, awesome.
Yeah, he can sing like really well. I would love to see him live.
Yeah.
Oh, I also gotta get it. Justin Timberlake. That would be my dream.
That'd be great.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like what era?
So much. We were just talking about him not too long ago, but like Future Sex Love Sounds.
Yeah, man.
Because he's like, he's already got like the knowledge and stuff, from Pharrell.
True.
Like on Justified, but past that, he was just having more fun with the sounds and like they're just more dancey and stuff. So.
And the Timbaland influence just took those songs to another level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's definitely his best album, Future Sex Love Sounds.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man, JT. So good. Well, before we wrap up, let's figure out where we can find everybody. So I want to throw your tags, Instagram, wherever you're at. Where can people find you?
Follow Blackstarkids. That's like what y'all need to follow. And it's Blackstarkids with a Z.
On everything.
On everything.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think somebody misspelled it on a flyer recently.
Really?
They spelled it with a Z. I think it was that KC show you played.
Yeah, it's because Blackstarkids with the S is taken on social media for some reason.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't like sue them or like
I don't know.
get
They're-
Jamie on them?
You know, people should just look it up and then just see like how weird it is. It's like,
Really?
y'all have the name? Like,
You know, they're somewhere saying the same thing. They're on a podcast right now.
Yeah.
They're going, somebody out there with a Z,
Yeah.
with 3 kids.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think like some baby page has
Oh,
something like that.
It's more literal. Theirs is a lot more literal.
oh, gotcha.
It's like actual kids.
Yeah,
on the-
people get them
Right.
confused with us sometimes.
All right, so follow Blackstarkids. Make sure to keep an eye out for future music videos, I assume. We didn't get a
Definitely.
chance to talk about music videos, but man, you guys go really hard on music videos.
Thank you.
DeAndre just dropped some music. Gabe is constantly putting out sweet content on baby cakes.
Yes.
Very talented, just fun, vibrant, creative people, and we love them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all for listening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Pizza rolls or what was the other one?
Bagel bites.
Pizza
Pizza
rolls.
bagels.
Yeah, pizza rolls or bagel bites.
You know, they're both gonna burn the roof of my mouth.
No, it's pizza rolls or hot pockets.
Oh, because it's like the same thing.
Yeah, pizza rolls.
I'm
or
going. Do I get to choose between microwave and oven?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going pizza rolls in an oven.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I'm in a hurry, hot pocket in a microwave.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
great. That's great.
I
That's
can
okay.
see that.
You can see that.
I mean,
Honestly, who
I
likes
don't
hot
eat hot
pockets?
You're like,
Pockets.
yeah, you were talking about it in the car on the way over. You're like, I bet he's a pizza roll guy. All right. Thank y'all for listening. Have a good one.